I had to go investigate a noise. But yeah, like, you know, it's like the moon is in a very different place. Exactly 365 or 6 days later, it's in a different phase, almost the opposite phase. So, that's why Easter, and that is, of course, why Easter fluctuates so much. One year it'll be in late March, another year it'll be in late April, another year it'll be somewhere in between. You know what I'm saying? That's why Easter changes so much, because of the moon and how it does not have a 1 year calendar cycle. 12 lunar months is less than a year, 13 lunar months is more than a year. So, the next full moon, oh my gosh, it's like right around Christmas, and that is so rare. They make it happen a lot in movies, but in real life, it's actually pretty rare. So right around Christmas, I'd like to bring my telescope, but I don't think my mom will let me. She'll want me not to have it because it takes up space. Oh gosh. So what do I do? So yeah, Mars, and the other thing is, I stated before, like Mars was in opposition a year ago. Well, right now it is completely invisible because it has a 2-year cycle right at. So next year it'll be starting to come into opposition. So yeah, I mean, the Martian cycle is like a little over 2 years or something. So yeah, those things coinciding were very specific to the year 22. And it was unseasonably hot for December. So yeah, things change. That's what I'm saying. Things change so much from one year to another that I just do not understand how other people find it so hard to memorize exact dates and ages. You know what I'm saying? Other people genuinely, they pretend not to know. Like, they'll say, I was 14 or 15, or, I was in 7th or 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll give two numbers right next to each other. And they'll pretend not to know, exact dates in their lives. And it's like, I don't understand that, because it's like, how do you confuse them? How do you not know one year from another? Because in my mind, they're very distinctively stamped out. Like, I could not possibly forget that it was age 27, aka my 28th year, when for the first time that I can ever remember, I didn't have a cold that year in my life, my 28th year. I couldn't possibly forget that. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that someone could convince me that I'd already turned 27 when I caught that last one at age 26, or it's the only one at age 26 in March of 2010, or that I was still 27 in November of 2011, around 11/11/11, when I caught that one at age 28. It's 28 years, 4 months or something. Yeah. No one could ever change that. And in childhood, it's even harder to forget the dates, like in childhood and adolescence, because you have teachers. And in my case, my teachers made some very big impressions on me, some bigger than others. And it's impossible for me to look back and not know whose class I was in when I see a picture of myself, even if I'm not at school in that picture. It can just be a picture of me standing by my Christmas tree with a miserable look on my face. And it's like, how can I not know what teacher's homework was responsible for that miserable look on my face? You know what I'm saying? What teacher was assigning so much homework that I couldn't get much sleep at the time? Because every year it would happen. It would just be a different name at the top of the page, if you know what I mean, and a different year in the date. So yeah, it's like, I just do not know, how other people, I mean, I have a hard time with short-term memory. That's starting to really bother me. Like I can't remember where I put X, Y, or Z, and I kind of get really mad, and I have anger issues about it, but not as bad as I used to. Um, I have issues with short-term memory. Like I can't remember the word I was going to say in a sentence. That's really bothering me. Um, but as far as long-term memory, I mean, things just made such a big, fat, emotional impression on me that I can't possibly forget, which teacher or person in my life had me wanting to kill myself near the end of the school year. Um, but yeah, it's just, it's like I'm glad I didn't do that, but the big emotional scars and sometimes physical, when I started cutting myself around the age of, well, at age 15, not around the age, at age 15, cutting myself because I couldn't find my homework, as quickly as I wanted to. I was mad at myself for putting it in the wrong book, which is why organization is so important. But just so many deep emotional wounds that will never heal make it impossible for me to say I was X or X plus one when that happened. I can't remember. And that's why my sister just makes me so mad. It's like she can remember, the names of stupid people that she went to school with, but she can't remember things that happened in her own life. You see, I don't remember anyone, any of the students. I remember the professors or the teachers, especially the men. But I don't remember any of the students that actually sat next to me. I didn't learn their names. I didn't learn their life stories. I didn't care about them. Because, I've just always, from kindergarten, I had this attitude of, they're out of my league. He's 5 and I'm 6. Therefore, I'm too old for him. That's the attitude I developed about every boy. And one thing I want to end with, I know this video is too long, but I was able to hunt down, and that's another thing that's really getting to me is my short-term memory is making it. I wish I could sell about 2/3 of my dolls because I can't remember where half of them are. I just have too many, and my jewelry too. Too many containers with dolls and jewelry and clothing. My very first kidcore doll was this little girl. I called her Lisa, like Lisa Simpson, but I think her name was supposed to be Katie. And I've had to change her hair bow to a scrunchie because it was deteriorating, but I still have that little girl. And she's got her same panties on. So she was kind of a short kidcore. And what do I mean by that? Well, she's shorter than a lot of other kidcore dolls. She's 6.5 instead of 7.5. And I like that. I like that variety. And for many years, I didn't have any little boys like that until I made some. See, even though he's busting out of his shoes, that's a little boy for her. And then of course, I think this was the original doll that I was trying to make into Cody. I'm gonna call him, I think, Blake. He's wearing a Tommy Hilfiger type shirt and some Nike shoes. So he's like a little rich boy. And that was the first, I think. And I think this may have been the original doll that I tried to make into Penny. I think what happened was my hairdo went badly. Okay, I removed their eyelashes, but my hair skills were not that good in those days, my hairdressing skills. And so that was the original dolls I wanted to be Cody and Penny. Well, her hairdo failed, and so did his. And so I ended up removing their hair. and I flocked his, and I glued curly hair to that one. Made it a redhead. And so then, let's see, many years later, I made another Cody and Penny to replace those. And you see, I changed her hair ties to scrunchies because that other one was deteriorating. So that's the other Cody and Penny. It's getting kind of hard to find room for these silly dolls. Then, let's see, at some point, I got a little, well, this was a redhead that I got, one of the first, let's see, where's that other one? These two, I think around 2002 or 3. I wasn't long out of high school, but that was one. I've changed his name so many times. And that's another little redhead that I bought at Walgreens. And then there was this one, a little baseball boy. And this one is simply a Katie doll, just a blonde Katie. No, this one I got later, but I thought she was just so pretty. And she looks more like a rich girl. She's more like what that one used to be like. So, and then the other thing is I started collecting these little Jody, Kidcore Jody. And she's more like a Kelly doll. And making boys out of some of them. So, I mean, they do have actual boys. You know, there's Timmy. I have some with the plastic hair, and then there's Kyle, you know, the older boy, like this age group. But I did not even know they existed, and I wasn't about to let them tell me that it had to be a girl doll just because it was dressed like a girl. So yeah, those are my Kidcore dolls, and I'll go ahead and post this video.